Alright, so let's talk about Ghost in the Shell 2045. It's kind of a mixed bag. It's a continuation from the original Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, which was my favorite Ghost in the Shell property. Like, honestly, I had so much fun with that one. The other ones, so-so. The original movie I was okay on. It was cool. The second movie, I did not understand most of what was going on. Arise was cool, although most people tell you otherwise. So how does this stack up against it? Let's start with the best part about it, which would be the sound. Oh man, we've got the original voice cast back together. Everybody came out. We got the Major, the original Bato, everybody, Togusa, everybody that you wanted from the original show is there. Except for the music, Yoko Kanno was not returning, which is sad, admittedly, but that new theme song, I'm down for it. It slaps. So speaking of the characters, what kind of story we got this time? So this one picks up after Second Gig. The Major and a few of the members of Section 9 are off in America having adventures, and it's actually a long continuous story as opposed to the episodic ones that we had in the original show, which doesn't work in their favor. It's very just here, there, everywhere, and there's a particular character that does not work, but we'll get to that. But once they finish off that first half of the series and they return to Japan, it's more of an episodic again. And then that's where it works, which is kind of weird to me because I myself like long one set stories, but this one just tells like a really dry one, no pun intended, that they're in the desert for most of it. It looks like Mad Max. Speaking of looks, let's get into those controversial visuals. I, for one, like it in stills. The designs are great. The Major has obviously had the most time spent on her, like by a mile. And then after that, you kind of get second tier, Togusa and Bato. Although Togusa looks kind of weird because he's really smoothed out and he looks younger than in the other iterations. And then you have the secondary cast, Agent Smith, Saito, Pazu, Boma. And then there's just everybody else, where we know the interns did those. And then I said it looks good in stills, which is true. And then in motion, it is stiff. It is really rough in a lot of places. A lot like me on camera right now, or any other time I do these vlogs. If we're looking at it on a scale of season 1 RWBY to season 7 RWBY, we're at season 2. I have hope that it can be better, but right now it's kind of rough. Like there's actually moments where there's a few moments when they're in cyberspace and they're actually flipping on purpose, and it's kind of cute, but it's also feels kind of disingenuous almost when like there's so many errors with the animation anyways, like the infamous flipping scene on the Ghost in the Shell Reddit. As for the characters themselves, they're all okay. They're cool enough. The Major is still the Major. Super cool, doing everything she does. My favorite scene with her is in an episode where there's a dude punching off people's heads, and then she goes to fight him hand to hand anyways. And then she's so badass that Bato, the super cool big burly man, has to play straight man to her. Major, you just tried to box Mike Tyson. You be wildin' out here. But did we die? Speaking of Bato, he has the best episode in there. He has a bank heist with a bunch of retirees, and it's just really fun. Okay, and so now we get to talk about the new characters. We have two new characters joining the group this time, and they are the polar opposites of quality characters. So in the first half, you've got Omoshiro, the worst character in Ghost in the Shell I have seen. At first you look at him and you're like, oh cool, there's a black guy here. Oh, he's stupid. Like every line out of his mouth is ridiculous. Like the voice actor for Omoshiro got screwed. Like everything he says is just awful. And the character does almost nothing to help the group. He is constantly holding them back, as a matter of fact. And it makes you wonder how they found him, where they found him, why do they have him with them? Because he's constantly an obstacle to the end of the mission. In the end, he doesn't learn anything. At the end of the day, he's comic relief, but this is not a show that needed extra comic relief characters. We have the Tachikomas for that, and they're still useful. And then in the second half, we have Prim. She is a much better character. She's well written in that she is a stan. She's a fangirl of the characters. So she comes in with a reason to be there. And then as she goes, she learns how to work with the team better. By the end, she doesn't outshine anybody, but in her own right, she has grown, which is the point of a character arc. Omoshiro doesn't have one of those. And it might just be because Prim is waifu bait. I mean, she works. She's cool, she can stay. Omoshiro, I hope he never comes back. There's a point where they say, oh, bye. We might call him if we need him again. I hope they don't need him again. He's awful. And actually having two new characters brings up a weird thought of why Boma and Pazu only get one line per episode and we're adding in more characters. They're cool, I like them. Why don't they get more play? We just added more characters. We couldn't work with the ones that you had? You didn't like the toys that you had on your table? So you went out and bought new ones? Okay, sure, whatever. As it stands now, it's really hard to get into the show if you don't have that connection to the old series because it kind of picks up and the characters have pre-established relationships that it's hard to get into unless, you've already seen them doing work together. So on a level of recommendation, I can't really recommend it unless you just really want to see the old characters come back. Other than that, you can find something else to watch with better animation and better first half of the story anyways. But if you're a fan of Ghost in the Shell at all, I do recommend finding that Batou episode. It's great, it stands by itself, and I just wish it had a title of Batou's Big Day Out. It's fun, just until we figure out what I'm gonna do anyways. But anime reviews seems like it's gonna be it for right now. All right, that's a wrap.